on with Minnesota, and he's got color for it too today. And he's wearing the Minnesota Vikings because he's got to feel like I did. Why'd you get off the bus? I mean, why'd you get off the bus? Why'd you get off the bus?
I tell you, there was some people stealing during that game, man. But it's the kind of game though where if you're playing in it, you're in trouble. You know, that was that kind of game, meaning that, you know, you're out of a job, meaning, you know, you got chances are you're not going to make the team, you know. So I think that's the thing, that it was just, you know, the Eagles players, it was just horrible. I was kind of embarrassed sitting up there watching it because there weren't many fans there, you know. Now, you know, they made money because everybody that wasn't there had to pay. Meaning, you know, you got the season ticket. So they were paying, but they just weren't there. And, you know, it was just a few people there. It really was a real dud, if you ask me. And the way the Eagles went out and played, I mean, you know, you wonder how many of those guys are going to be able to make the team. That's really what it comes down to.
Hey, Gary, I got to do this. I'm going to go down the list here for a couple guys, but I'm sorry, man. I don't see it with Nolan Smith. I don't see. I mean, you know what? I'm not expecting Pat Swilling or anything here, but I mean, dude, I just don't see it. What's your take on him?
Well, you know, he's got the speed around the corner, but you know, he just doesn't. He isn't showing me that he's a good football player yet. You know, I don't see. You know, he's got any kind of power moves. He's just a guy. He's going to run around the world. That's what he used to talk about, pass rushers like that. They're running so far out that if they do get around, they're never going to get there anyway. So he's been very disappointing. And really, the fact that he was playing was an indictment, because nearly everybody else that's valuable during the season, they didn't even dress. Because when they came out, I'm seeing all these guys going.
James Bradbury didn't even dress.
I know, you're right. James Bradbury didn't even practice. You know, and it was he's been a disappointment so far. I tell you, you know, and you know, he's got his nice little, you know, comments afterwards and everything. I'm going, man, look, ain't nobody interested in them little silly comments.
Nothing.
I mean, you got to make some plays, man. I mean,
yeah, man, I'm not buying it anymore.
He played nearly the whole. I mean, at least a half he played.
No, he got into the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and how many? Did he make a tackle? I don't know. You know, and I don't want to put him in there with Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, but he's starting to act like a thief.
Man, hey,
you know,
I got to get your take on this one now. So Jahan Dotson, wait a minute now, get this. So Washington drafts him, and 18 months later, they trade him in the division.
I know.
To a division foe. And I mean, I don't mean to pollute the question on you, Gary, but I mean, look, and I get it. They're going to bring him in to be in the 3-hole. So it's an upgrade there for Philadelphia. But I mean, Gary, I mean, this guy here was the 16th pick, and they gave up on him.
Okay, now, this is, you know, you know, we were.
I like the deal. I like the deal for the Eagles.
Yeah, I like the deal for the Eagles too. Now, I was having it out with some of the guys too. We were talking about this, and one of the guys gave this point, which is a legitimate point, which is the people that draft him aren't there anymore in Washington. So they said, well, it's the kind of thing where this was not personal. Now, if the guys that drafted him were still there, then this would have been a personal affront to do that. But the fact that the guys that drafted him weren't there, it's like they go, we don't care what happens to this guy. Hey, if he's not here with us, we don't care where he's at. You know, so it wasn't as personal, but at the same time, he's got something to prove. Now, hopefully, he's the kind of guy that this lights a fire under, Hopefully this kind of guy, and I'll tell you, it would be nice, and if there's some of the Eagle guys, some of his teammates need to put some fire under him. Tell him, look, they need to watch him, see him do something, and go, hey, we don't do that like that here, okay? Get your butt up and run, or whatever they could tell him, to get some fire under him, because the kid has got talent. He's definitely got talent, but they need it out of him. I mean, and really right now, with all the Eagles have done, this team got to do something, man. All this talent, these guys got to do something, man. I mean, I know defensively they've got guys they've got to develop and all that, but they've got an offense that should be able to carry them for a while. And the defense, because I see the kids, they got talent over there, but they got to show up. They got to have the toughness. You got to, and I haven't liked where, you see guys wrapping up their knee. They can't practice. Look, you got to learn how to play with a little pain, dude. They need to get that conversation.
Hey, that league's all about that.
Come on, man. This is nothing against baseball or basketball. Look, this is football. You got to wrap that stuff up and get on out there, man. They need to have that conversation with some people. Look, when we put you in a spot where we're showing we need you, dude, we need you. Shoot that thing up. Whatever you got to do, we need you to play.
Garry, do you think that mentality there, Tyler Steen missing time, Paris Campbell missing time,
yeah.
Tyler Steen lost a position
I know
because he couldn't pay through playing. Do you think this all comes back how they look at the exhibition season, and that they really don't look at the exhibition season as a priority? They look more at those organized team practices than they do the exhibition season. I'm watching Kansas City, Garry. They're playing Patrick Mahomes for 2 of the 3 preseason games, and they're going for an iconic moment of a three-peat.
Yeah.
You could lose that guy in a game that doesn't matter, and there's Mahomes in the second quarter. You're going, why is that guy out there? But they look at that whole thing differently, and the Eagles look at it the other way. September 6th, you're going to roll that offense out down in Brazil without having any quality reps. How confident are you?
Well, this is not the way I believe. I was not brought up this way. You know that I was not brought up this way. So, but I'm trying to, see it their way. I stand over there and watch practice. I'm standing over there going like, this is not what I believe in. You got to have some toughness. You got to have players where you look in the guy in the eye and go, man, look, dude, I'll be ready on Sunday. And where whatever this guy got to do, he's going to be out there on Sunday, giving you everything he's got and giving you a good effort and playing well, because you got to be able to play through some pain and stuff. Come on, this is the football I know, and you find a way to play, and we don't need you coming out and crying and in the interview after the game crying about how you had to play in pain. Look, playing with pain is part of this game. Okay, so they're gonna need that, because if you want to win a championship, you're gonna need some of that. So what you're talking about with Kansas City, this is what Andy Reid grew up with.
Yeah.
So he would tell the guys, look, man, if you're gonna be a guy we can count on, you got to be able to play with some pain. You got to be able to play through some injuries, and as I told you before, I saw those guys where you're fighting for a starting job on a team that's got a good chance to win the Super Bowl or be there in the hunt. They're clearly one of the
teams. You give that effort last Saturday. Garry, my takeaway from Minnesota was I wasn't looking for a lot. I was just looking for you to give a shit.
That's right.
Just play hard and angles and technique. It's like a mentality that the organization has. Well, we don't care about it. Why should the players? And it looked like that's how it resonated in the actions of the players.
It was really horrible. That was a horrible performance. I mean, regardless of who you put out there, when you have a championship team, there's certain things where from just putting on the jersey, man, we don't take anything from anybody. That's the kind of attitude you're supposed to have. You got a championship team. You put on the jersey, even, and see, hopefully, going to develop this where they look. I don't care if you're a free agent or whatever. You're trying out for this team, dude. You put on that jersey, you have better play and stop playing like a little old whatever. I ain't gonna get into that, but it's ridiculous to have that kind of a performance because they need to have that kind of quality of a fight, because ultimately that's what it's going to take. You're going to get in some tough games and some tough situations, and how much this team is willing to fight is ultimately going to be how far they go.
Two last ones here. Do you think we're seeing a little bit of the lack of Fletcher Cox being out there in that defense with leadership, like you say, that, like you said, look, man, I'm not looking for you to go out there and win a ton of exhibition games. I'm just looking for you to give a shit and to go out there and be accountable. It's one thing to be on a chat with all these guys like Devin White is and all that. It's another thing of Nolan Smith. There's a lot of talking going out there, but I ain't seeing it. And I'm like, do you think that that's just kind of like the beginning of it, where a little bit that leadership is going to be in question at the beginning of the season?
Well, I can tell you, looking at the defense, you clearly don't have veteran leaders out there. You don't
at every level.
You don't have that, and they've got to develop that. That's why the development of that defense is going to be ultimately the key to their season. Because offensively, I don't see any way, because you got leaders, because you have guys that have done it before. I expect the offense to come out and give me 35 a game, just about. That's what I'm expecting. I mean, unless something happens, look, you guys got to come out and perform. You got to carry this team till these guys grow up. But I think I want to see some of the guys on offense need to start kicking some butt and tell them, guys, look, you guys need to straighten up. You guys, because they're going to have to get after them if they're being sloppy or whatever, because they got to grow up during this season, and they got to grow up to the point to where you can play in a big game and come out and deliver. And that's going to be ultimately the key to this season is, does this defense grow up? And that means guys like, Jalen Carter and things getting to the point where, look, I'm playing on this level and I'm whooping butt. I don't care who lines up over me. He's got to have that kind of an attitude and the kind of toughness that you need throughout that defense. That's going to be the key to their season, because the offense is there. They've been grooved. They've been through this, but they don't really have a lot of veterans on the defense that have been through this before and that they can count on, to be excellent.
One last one here for you, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Are you concerned about Saquon Barkley and his back? They're talking disc issues, saying a little bit here. Now, here we're talking about a guy I think, and see, I had a conversation with Xander earlier. I think you're going to need him earlier in the year because you're going to want to control the clock and keep that defense on the sidelines. You're not going to want to go 3 and outs and put that team on. What I don't want is, I don't want that defense, Gary, in the first month of the season playing 75 plays. I want them to be more under 60 plays. Mm-hmm. That gives me a better chance of winning that football game, and along with field position also. So, if he's a little bit banged up right now, I mean, it's got to be concerning.
Well, the thing is, I look at him, and the dude is a specimen. I mean, the legs he's got, as big as and as fast as he is. So I know a guy that muscular, at times, he's got to make sure he's stretched out. And sometimes when he has any kind of an injury, that sometimes they last longer on a guy that's so muscular, But they got to do whatever they can. But they need him. I mean, you got to have him, because he is the addition that really just puts defenses in a quandary where there is no defense that's going to take away him and take away those receivers. You got to take away.
Believe we are froze. Hopefully we can close it up here with Gary and close it up. That was all great stuff there too, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can close it out here with Garry Cobb. If he comes back, all good. If he doesn't, that was good stuff. Again, hey, what I said about Saquon, I think you got to run the ball early in the year. to get your defense in a position where you keep them off the field. You can't have that defense, in my opinion, you can't have that defense in a position where you're going back and forth with Green Bay in that opener. You just can't. Because, again, that defense is not ready to stop. They're not ready to stop people yet, and especially a quarterback like Jordan Love and the play caller that Matt LaFleur is. You know what? I got to say this. We're going to talk about the Packers at the top of the hour here. We'll talk about Green Bay. That'll be at the top. Please hit the like button, guy. We really appreciate it. Yeah, well, let's just take a time out here, Joe. If Garry comes back, we'll just call it a day. I thought he was really good as usual. Please hit the like button. Where are we, guys, right now in the like list? Where are we on that like button right now? Guys, killed it last week. You absolutely killed it. Wayne goes, BG's going to shock the league with his performance. Dude, he's going to play 17 plays a game at most. Kind of hard to lead when you're not starting. Look, he's built a ton of equity up. Not saying it. 251. Guys, you guys really great day so far on this Monday. 49 away from getting to 300. Guys, awesome stuff. Please hit the like button. We'll talk at the top of the hour about the 2024 Green Bay Packers. Obviously, we will go back and forth for the next 2 weeks as we get ready for that game next Friday. So hit the like button. Keep it here. National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.